Come in, we say good morning. That's important. When you come into work in the morning, it's good to say hi to everyone. A lot of people don't do that. It freaks me out.
Also, he's got the best sneakers I've ever seen.
They're
It
amazing.
totally threw me while I was talking. I was like, what?
No.
Who did he make them himself? That's amazing.
And I think, okay, this is different.
And that's why Billy is Billy. Just amazing.
I just broke down crying.
Mortals, I made you. And this is how you repay me.
How you doing?
Yeah, really good.
Thanks.
You look incredible.
I love this outfit. I love these clothes. I love Tom Brown.
Get that out there.
Tom Brown.
Congratulations on the show. I loved it. You're an absolute standout for me. I loved everything you're in. What did you want to bring to Dionysus after, it's an age-old character that so many of us kind of feel like we know, and you brought something new to him. Kind of what did you want to do?
I wanted to bring something fresh, like new and like a bit crazy. And I was really expecting them to, when I kind of made these offers, I was really expecting everyone to be like, why is he walking like that? What's he doing with his... But no one kind of said that, and everyone kind of encouraged it. It was awesome. And then you work with Jeff and Janet, and they're like bouncing off you, and it's amazing. It's amazing. So I got to bring everything I wanted to bring. So it's great.
I mean, speaking of the great Jeff Goldblum, who's just walked into the room.
Yeah, when Jeff walks in, I give you one of those. And, sorry, you're gonna interview him. Why am I doing this? Sorry.
What was it like to film with him, and what were your conversations like about that father-son dynamic?
Well, filming with Jeff is pure entertainment. What you see is really what you get. Like he is that. Never a dull moment. He's gonna sing to you. He's gonna ask you to sing along. He's like an encyclopedia of like cinema knowledge, and yeah, just the jukebox of it all. Love it. And the father-son conversations. Well, when we first met, he said, we look just alike, and you've got those almondine eyes, don't you? He said we could be father and son. I was like, yeah, we could be father and son. And then they kind of had a little chat about how I want to play Dionysus, and he was like, yeah, cool, give it, yeah, let's play, and we really got to play. It was really, really fun. Yeah.
By the end of it, father and son are not in the best place with each other. How do you feel like that's going to kind of develop going forward? Charlie's mentioned maybe 3 seasons that they'd love to do, which will give a lot of time to explore that. What would you like to do?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, father and son relations, little dicey, but me and Jeff, we're tight, let that be known. There's a lot to explore. I don't know, it could go anywhere. I don't want to give it away. But yeah, that's it. Yeah.
What was the most memorable moment on set? I mean, we've got this cast of absolute characters.
Every day there was something crazy. We shot on a yacht in Ischia, off Naples in Italy, and it was truly stunning. Really difficult to shoot in terms of like continuity and getting all that. So we like really had to work that week. And then at the end of the week, we got to eat dinner on the yacht. The crew just surprised us. They were like, ta-da! They made a whole dinner for us, and it was incredible. They let us play music. You can like hook up your music, and it's playing like multi-room, like Sonos multi-room on the yacht, and you're just like, what's life?
But being an actor's hard work. It's hard work, right?
It's very hard. The method, and it's very hard. Yeah. Punch me on this next take. Like really punch me. No, I don't do that.
I mean, talking of which, what was the biggest challenge for you?
What's the biggest challenge? Not laughing, not overheating in some of the places. No, when we shot the cave stuff, and it's cave going into the underworld in Almeria in southern Spain, 40-degree heat, and like sand, like dust storms, like every couple of minutes, like it's like nothing, and then we say action, and then the dust storm just starts. So that was a bit.
And just finally, before I let you go, those big family scenes all together, all of the gods, what were they like to film, and was there any kind of room for improv or anything like that from any of these like amazing actors?
Yeah, loads of room for improv, but we talk about it first. We'd come in, Georgie would have all the cameras set up, We're already where they need to be. We come in, we say good morning. That's important. When you come into work in the morning, it's good to say hi to everyone. A lot of people don't do that. It freaks me out. So we said hi, we touched base, we talked about the scene, and boom, we're ready to go. No rehearsal. It was just like, first one's for free. And I really love shooting those scenes because everyone's in the room, and like, it was just great to hang out with everyone.
Congratulations on the show.
Thank you.
It's absolutely amazing. Yeah, I've seen all of it.
You
I've seen
have?
all of it. So yeah, I'll mention the ending, but we will hold it. So do not worry. I know these snipers. But the kind of Orpheus and Eurydice story is adapted so beautifully here, and it's done so in such a unique way. What were your kind of early conversations with Charlie, both of you, about what you guys wanted from that?
Well, I met Charlie very early in Malaga when we arrived to kind of start filming, but it was more about the world we're in. Like, what is the reality of gods? Do I believe, does Orpheus believe in them? Are they real? Blah, blah, blah. It was more kind of, what is the environment we're in? And then with Aurora, I mean,
We did a little, I don't know, I feel like we didn't really need to for like the relationship part of it, because everyone's kind of been in that thing in their lives.
And also
you know
I think
what
it's a big thing with acting is that what you learn as you get a few jobs in and you've got a bit more experience is that if something is happening naturally, you don't need to add anything to it or get in the way of it as such. I mean, we're clicked very well, very quickly, I think. No?
Yeah, we have very similar sense of
Yeah,
humor.
similar
It's
sense
all-
of humor,
yeah.
we have a similar approach.
Yeah.
And actually sometimes, you know, too much conversation or too much analysis is the key word here, can I think get in an actor's head, and it sort of becomes performative, whereas what you want is it to be natural. So if it's there naturally, leave it be, leave it alone, you
Yeah.
know? And that's kind of what we did. Also, he's got the best sneakers I've ever seen.
They're
It
amazing.
totally threw me while I was talking. I was like, what?
What are
Who
those?
did he make them himself? That's amazing. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, there.
No, not at all. We're talking of sort of cool moments on set. You know, did you take any inspiration from any real life rock stars for your big moment? It felt a bit Harry Styles to me.
No way. He just wasn't available.
Oh my god.
No, I again, much like we just talked about with Aurora, I don't know, Charlie writes something very special in this case. And I just try and allow it to naturally just come out. Like, I mean, when we did the gig sequence,
You were very much in your element.
we kind of...
You were. I mean that as a compliment.
Give me a couple of takes and I've gotten the nerves all out of my system. I can roll with it. But, you know, the gig scene, we mapped out, these are the vague physical movements for the camera department. So you're going to come through this door, you walk down these steps, you go in a straight line. Once you're on the stage, you've got this amount of room to play with. And that was very liberating. So I was just like, okay, well then I want to hear action and then we just see what happens. And I didn't watch any concert footage. I mean, I've seen a million gigs in my life, so I think I was probably subconsciously working off maybe stuff I've seen, but now I always like to just let it be natural and whatever my version of the thing is, you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and you know, towards the end, it's left very, very open for another season. Charlie's mentioned maybe 3 that they'd love to do. What do you hope is next for Riddy? What could you see in her future? Because she's got a big mission ahead of her.
I think that what I really liked about this season is that she's kind of finding her agency and discovering how to like speak up and, you know, be in her body. And so I would like to see more of that as she goes on, and hopefully that helps the greater good, but I don't know.
But there's a real strength and resolve, I think,
There is.
to the character as you're getting towards.
I agree.
And, you know, Riddy's got some real
Yeah.
fire in there.
Yeah.
So.
100%. And what was the biggest challenge for you both on this one?
Filming it, I found the crossing the river Styx stuff was a little tricky because you're in a small boat. It's me, Ramon, and Robert Ems, and there was a kind of complicated fight sequence, and it was very, very, very hot. So it was just the technical elements, and you're in a boat, so you don't have space to roam, and like the camera department's in another boat. Like it's just, you're literally not on solid ground, so it's a bit tricky. I think that scene for me was technically the hardest. I don't know if you had a particular...
I think just the heat, like wearing dungarees that are made of plastic and a beanie, and it's like 110 degrees, and I'm just a sweaty person. So it was like
You and me both, girl.
just a disgusting puddle under my clothes, but it was fun.
Sorry, one more quickly before I have to let you go. I loved your scenes with Billy Piper and played off each other amazingly. What were your conversations like, you two, about those scenes?
We didn't have any conversations, which I loved. Billy just right away was in it, and that's why Billy is Billy. Just amazing. She's amazing.
So an incredible show. Congratulations to you both. Leila, Ari's story it was one of the darkest in the show, I thought, which I absolutely loved. What was that like for you, and how did you want to approach those particularly dark scenes?
Listen, it's really interesting to play someone who's kind of starts off as very subservient and Minos' daughter and this almost like princess person who's stuck in this very brittle household and then breaks free and changes her destiny. So yeah, to go on a journey like that was very exciting. I felt very lucky.
And Misia, Kaos is one of my favourite characters. I think he'll be one of everyone's favourite characters. And I think his story is going to mean so much to people. What was it like for you to bring a story like that, an age-old story, and make it into a really beautiful moment of kind of trans representation?
Yeah, it was just incredible. I think I've said this so often throughout filming, throughout this whole run, and throughout, yeah, I mean, as soon as I learnt about this character, I was obsessed, and I learned about the character in school, so I'm like even more obsessed, and to just experience such incredible writing that really allows for a trans masculine character to have such, well, character outside of their identity is really special. I think that it doesn't happen so often, and I feel very blessed for that, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be, but it is still a big deal, and I think so many people will be grateful for it. Was there any sense from you and Charlie while you were filming about how much that is going to mean to people, and how many people are going to receive that, with so much love?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that, like, something that me and Charlie, I think it was my first day of filming, we were doing this scene, my audition scene, where me and another character are on a bench just chatting for a really long time. And I was so moved, and then afterwards I saw Charlie was really moved too, and we both were just crying and hugging, and I was like, I just know that if I was watching this scene as the child that I was, I would be immeasurably feel immeasurably seen, and just have had a much stronger experience because I would have been represented in such a strong way.
100%. As we sort of finish the series, this won't go out until it's out, but kind of Ari has such a big mission on her hands. She ends with quite a statement. What do you see next for her?
Oh gosh. I see her she wants to fight the good fight. She wants to get justice done, and she's sick of having been subjugated by a totalitarian regime, which is kind of what she lives under. So I think she will fight the good fight.
And in those final scenes, what do you think was kind of going through her mind? She's felt all this loss, but she's still ready to keep going. She's a bit of a warrior. Yeah,
she's a warrior. She's got layers and layers of pain and hopelessness. So now I think she's found hope. It's her first time that she has a glimmer of hope, is despite all the pain. Yeah.
And sort of same question for Kaos. He has also got a huge mission going forward, and it's a big final episode for him. Yeah. How's he feeling, and what do you see for him?
Well, I think that he's going to have a lot to navigate. I think there's a big reveal that gets dumped on his lap, and I think that dealing with the various levels of that with his mom and with all the sort of the mission ahead, as you say, and working with Hades, it's going to be, well, yeah, a bit of a feat, but I think that I can imagine him being quite strong in it. I think what he's gone through in season 1, it feels like it strengthened him, and there's more of a resolve that we find towards the end, similarly to Ari, actually.
And what was the most memorable moment on set for both of you? It's an incredible cast of absolute characters.
I mean, am I allowed to say spoilers? I think my most incredible moment was first meeting my brother, and seeing him, and Fadi, the actor that plays Glaucus, the vulnerability and physicality and all of the things he brought. I just was so moved, and yeah, it felt very special.
That was the moment I cried, that moment between you both.
And the pain he's been in, and just the horror of it, the utter horror.
To follow that, well, I think that there's a couple of different moments where I just was really struck by the fact that I was on set filming a Greek myths TV show, and that was just so moving to me. And I think one of those moments was actually towards the end again, it's another spoiler, is when David Thewlis came along and he just looked at me and he said, who are you? And I just broke down crying. I was like, this is, Hades, this is David Thewlis, this is an amazing cast, and I get to be a part of it.
Look absolutely gorgeous. Congratulations on the series, I loved it. What kind of drew you to the character of Persephone? Obviously she's been around for so long, but you brought something so fresh and new to her.
So I'll tell you something. When I first heard about it, and I thought Persephone, oh right, so she was abducted by Hades. It's going to be dramatic, and I start reading it, and I think, okay, this is different. And what do I learn? I learn that in Charlie's version of this world, Hades and Persephone are actually happily married, adore each other, work together beautifully, and are the perfect team. And I go, okay, this is not what I was expecting. I was thinking I'd be like in a corner crying, breaking my heart, you know what I mean? I loved it. From the moment I started reading that first episode, I genuinely loved it. And believe me, it doesn't happen often. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, okay, if there's nothing else happening. I loved it so much. And it's one of those, again, doesn't happen often, where I went, I really want to play this woman. I want to play this woman a bit too much, because then you just get upset when it doesn't work out. I really want to play this woman. What do we need to do to play this woman? And we had an audition. I auditioned for the part. It wasn't a straight offer. I auditioned for the part on Zoom. Met Charlie, met George Banks Davis and Katie, the director, and Katie, the producer. And then just thought, okay, now I need to let it go. Maybe that's the only time I will ever get to speak Persephone's lines and Charlie's words. And then it came my way. And I really do mean that I will be very sad if I never get to play Persephone again, because I love her. I loved working with David. David said to me, I'm no trouble. And he's not. He's a joy. He's got a broken ankle, that's why he's not here. He's got a broken ankle. I love him. I love Jeff. I was like, it's Jeff Goldblum. Jeff is more Jeff than you're expecting. I'm like, wow, you really are Jeff Goldblum. You're not like an imposter. You're like Jeff Goldblum, like mega. He's wonderful. He's extraordinary to watch. I love Janet. I mean, I felt like the kid at school that was hanging out with, the prom queen. I adore Janet. And Nabhaan, and I spent most of my time with them, and then got to meet some of the others, and just thought I'd love to do more. So I spend more time with Debbie and Killian and Leila and Aurora. And, do you know what I mean? I just want to spend more time with them. And I promise you, if I didn't mean that, I would find lots of nice things to say that weren't that.
I mean, someone you spent a lot of time with, of course, David Thewlis. What was it like building that kind of relationship with him, and what early conversations did you have about this partnership that, as you say, is very different?
Very early on, we spoke on the phone, and he said, I'm using my own accent, and I think most of us are. So I said, great, I can do Cardiff. So we sat in that. And he said that he was wearing glasses, and I said, how do you feel about me wearing glasses? And he said, I think it'd be great if there are a couple in glasses, because you don't see that often on screen. Like both parties wearing. So, and we like the idea that because they're in the underworld and it's a bit dark, they're both in their glasses, and they're quite bookish. He'd decided that he was always in waistcoats. When I went for my costume fitting with Rebecca Hale, costume designer, who I hope is here, there were a whole bunch of things on the rail that she'd started to have made, so they were kind of half made, and like the sort of, what they call it, like the prototype or whatever you call them in sewing. And I said, you know what, as I try things on, I said, you know what, I like the idea that her silhouette is always a bit like Margaret Thatcher. In at the waist, and then the A-line. Nothing fitted, so no pencil skirts, no trousers. And I thought Rebecca might say, oh no, that's too much, but she was like, yeah, and she immediately got rid of anything that wasn't that shape, and she said, I'll get some more stuff made. So I wanted it to have a silhouette, and then with Vicky makeup designer and her beautiful team, Bev and Itzy, who did my hair and makeup, we came up with this crown of hair. So it's a kind of Afrocentric hairstyle, but she carries her own crown. And it means that if you ever saw her, because we're in black and white in the underworld, if you ever saw just her silhouette, you always knew exactly who it was. And I like that idea. You can tell it's her from down a corridor. It was lovely to work with people who were so willing to entertain those conversations, because sometimes you don't. Sometimes you work with people and they've got something in their mind and they bend you to, and you're gonna go, I'm not feeling this, but I'm tired of arguing. Do you know what I mean? There was none of that. There wasn't even a belt that happened if I wasn't happy to wear it, you know. Even down to like the length of the dresses, if I was like, oh, it's a tiny bit too long, or it's a bit, Rebecca was like, yeah, you're absolutely right. It was great. It was really great. Such a brilliant, beautiful experience that you kind of wish on every actor. Unfortunately, they're not always like that.
So with Greek mythology, I feel like these are stories obviously that have been told time and time over, but you've managed to do it in such a fresh way. What did you want to do to make it different and fresh?
Well, thank you very much for that. I think I always loved any reinterpretation of the myth, so I was obsessed with books like the Penelope ad, and I love the Percy Jackson series, and so in updating it I wanted to kind of make it accessible for everybody, so I wanted people to not feel like, oh, it's Greek myths, I don't think that's for me, if they maybe didn't like them at school or something, so I think it should be something for everybody, and you can not know anything about them or even hate them, and you could be a lover of them, and hopefully there's something for you in it, basically.
Yeah, absolutely, because it's also like a family drama, and
No, I was going to say, I think the joy about the myths is that they are eternally relevant. I think you can press pause at any point in human history and they will be relevant because they're like timeless themes about love, death, power, abuse of power, dysfunctional families, like you say, and I think they're always relevant, and that's why people always come back to them, really.
Yeah, of course, the patriarch of that family, the great Jeff Goldblum. What kind of early conversations did you have with him about what you wanted this juice to be? Because it's such a different interpretation.
I think it was the way I personally went into Zeus was like, what if the king of the gods had a midlife crisis? What would that look like? So it was his kind of paranoia was for me the way in. I think that's what I first spoke to Jeff about. And yeah, he's just an amazing collaborator, and he wanted to go through the scripts forensically, and then he would offer up little ideas he had, and then on set he'd do amazing improvisation as well. So it was just like, it's a real joy. And our two directors, Georgie Max Davies and Rinoura Matfumo, work with him so brilliantly. He's a joy to work with, he really is.
And another character I was so interested in was Cassandra, played by the amazing Billie Piper, who our readers absolutely love as well. What were your conversations with her like about this woman who initially seems so crazed, but by the end of it, you're thinking she's got everything right?
Well, I think the thing that Georgie and I were talking about with Billie was that Cassandra is telling the truth, but everybody else thinks she's mad. And so, in episode 1, we, the audience, meet her, and she does seem to us like she's not quite of sound mind, and by 8 you realise she's a truth teller. So the audience goes on that journey kind of with Riddy, I suppose. And the idea for Cassandra was that it's tragic, like she speaks truth and no one believes her, and that's the most awful, torment to be in. She says in episode 1, I warned them about the horse, I told them. She tells people all the time, she tells Nax in episode 3 to run, he doesn't. She's a prophet and has the gift of foresight, but no one believes her until Riddy and her have this connection. So yeah, we kind of went in through that she was that pain of not being believed.
Amazing to watch, and this won't go out till the show's out, but of course you leave it very, very open for more. What is your hope, your plan for more?
Well, my plan, my hope is that the idea is 3 seasons in total, so that's what I have kind of in my brain, and I would love to do more. I really would.
How far have you got in terms of actually writing?
There's lots of things forming. I've got an idea of what the plot is, but no, there's no scripts as yet. Just lots of like fevered documents and stuff that only I would probably understand at this point. But yeah, the main story is clear in my head.
So exciting to hear. And of course, talking about your amazing cast, was there anyone else, any other actors that you approached, or anyone else you had in mind for any of these roles?
Well, I kind of wrote Nax, Nax for Daniel Monks. I'd seen him in a play at the Donmar, and I thought he was amazing, and I always wanted to work with him. I mean, it really was an embarrassment of riches, to be honest. That it was kind of like, could we get so and so? Oh my God, they've said yes. You know, it was it was just an embarrassment of riches. It was incredible, and like when we had that cast list up on the wall, I can just remember feeling like it felt like, was it real? You know, it was crazy. It's like a proper dream come true job and project for me. So I don't know how I'll ever top it, basically.
Well, as we say, it's been in the works for so long for you.
Yeah.
Was there ever a moment when you thought maybe it's not going to happen, or, you know, what was it like to now finally see it out in the world after so many years?
Well, there were so many years when I thought it wouldn't happen. I mean, the pandemic, obviously, I wondered if it would be shut down then, and Netflix were just such champions of it, and they were so supportive, and they were like, no, we want to do it. And I think also, I believe that things kind of happen as they should, and like I think actually the extra time, the extra thought, the extra kind of, you know, thinking time when it wasn't being shot, and the extended period of time, I think it's made it a better show, and I think it's the show it was meant to be now, and I don't think it would have necessarily been as good had it come out when it was going to.